the Broke Entrepreneur Podcast. I am your host, Chach. This is my host, Alton. And,
Alton.
Yeah, man, we this is episode 3, man.
Episode 3. Man, feels good. Feels good to keep putting out content.
We've already done 500% better than we did last year, man.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us for the first time, I took a untraditional route to become an entrepreneur / business owner. You took more of a traditional route, right?
Yes, sir.
You went to college.
You
got a master's degree in business.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
all the
man.
degrees and such.
That's what's up, man. All right, so today we're gonna be talking about raising capital, right? Did you say that last episode?
I think we said we've been talking about some capital raising and such.
Listen, if you didn't see that last episode, man, go check that out.
Check that out.
That shit was dope. We was dropping a lot of knowledge and value, man.
Major key alert.
Major key, man. Actually, I need to go back and listen to my damn self so I could use those tips for everyday life.
Right.
Give me a minute while I pull up my notes, man. What's going on with you?
Man, just happy another week going.
Amen.
Had a few client meetings this past week.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Okay.
working on that, see what comes of that.
Okay.
Not 100% sure yet, but we'll see. Still kind of like feeling my way around.
Okay. I see you rocking the VersaFit shirt today.
Oh yes, definitely, because we're talking about raising capital, so.
Shout out to VersaFit.
Shout out to VersaFit. I'm talking about my own company.
Yeah, man, I started an eBay business, man.
You did?
Yeah, man. It's easier than I thought. I put a listing up. I got a bid for it. Right?
Nice.
So I'm gonna make money. It's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Alright. So raising capital. Here's the thing, man. I don't know much about raising capital. Right? You know what? And maybe the listeners don't either. Or people watching. Maybe they don't either. Right? Maybe they don't know what that means. I think we all know what capital means, right? Raising capital. What is raising capital, man? What's I guess a definition of raising capital, man?
So raising capital is basically getting money either from raising money on your own. Basically, you're paying for it yourself, or you're going after investors or friends and family, a bunch of things. Basically, you're looking to get money to accelerate the growth of your business. That's what raising capital is.
Accelerate the growth of your business. So does that mean you have to have a business to raise capital, or you can just have an idea or something? Like, I have an idea, but I need money to fund this idea.
In the past, a lot of businesses were started with just an idea. In today's time, people kind of want to see some sort of traction. Okay. But you can still raise capital with an idea, but you need a pitch deck. There's just a bunch of things you need to basically show that this idea has some sort of merit in it.
So you need a lot of little different pieces.
Yeah, pitch deck, financial projections, if you have any types of patents or anything that could show, hey, there's some sort of value in this when you're just at the idea stage.
Okay. Well, man, I don't want you to go too deep into it, man. We can save that to a course or something that you can make for us later in life. Let's just talk about, kind of not necessarily the fundamentals of raising capital, but some tips, man. Some tips for raising capital.
Well, I'd say some tips from raising capitals. You can do it yourself.
Okay.
You can take your own money out of your account or sell something that belongs to you where you can cash it out into liquid capital and take that money and put that money into your business. That's the easiest route to go.
Okay.
After that would be more like friends and family. You can go and ask your friends, say, hey, I got this idea, I got this business that I'm working on. Would you guys be willing to give me a little bit of money to help get it started in exchange for a piece of the company?
No, I don't see that one working very well, man.
That's actually how most...
Does that work out?
It's how most companies are started. I mean, you have to raise money from someone, and usually it's the people closest to you. It's usually someone has a rich uncle, or they have early access to like maybe like some sort of inheritance or something. But yeah, usually the money's going to come from like someone within your like close circle, your friends or your family.
So I can ask you, right?
You could
for some money to fund my business. You don't believe in me and my ideas?
Yeah, I don't.
Ah,
Just bad. Nah, that's real.
that's disappointing.
No, yeah, I don't have the capital to invest. But if I did, I have a friend right now. He's been sitting around for a while. Like, hey, like I want to put like $10,000 of my money into your company, and I told him no. Like not
Why?
until I
Why would you turn
personally.
down $10,000?
It's because I didn't need it. $10,000 wasn't enough money to move the needle in my business. In a bigger business, in a smaller business where that actually makes a big deal, like you might need that $10,000 to get the prototype built and to get that prototype to in front of an investor with deeper pockets. So
That's what I need.
yeah, so like that money would make sense. Like I'm a little further along, so $10,000 doesn't really make a difference for me. I'd rather help my friend take that $10,000 and start his own business.
Start his own business, okay. How much you think you need?
For what I'm working on, the least amount I could do it with would be about $500,000.
Wow.
Yeah. What I need completely and would never have to go back for funding again would be about $2.5 million.
$2.5 million.
We would never have to come back for funding.
You'd just be good. If you have a good partner too.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a difference. Right? There's smart money and then there's dumb money, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's much later.
Okay. So back to the tips, man. What is I hear people throwing this around, man. An angel investor, man. What is that?
Yeah. So an angel investor is either a single person who's not your friend or your family member,
Okay.
or a group of people who will pool their money together and invest into small companies. Sometimes they invest in companies that have no traction, and sometimes they want you to have traction. So angel investors are basically not venture capitalists. They're people who have a lot of money, but they tend to invest on a smaller scale. So they're your seed investors. Sometimes they're your Series A investors.
Okay. You said something. About venture capitalists. I heard that one too, man.
Yeah. So venture capitalists tend to be much larger companies, and they tend not to even touch a company that's not making $5 million a year already in revenue. And that's probably lowballing it now. It's probably a lot higher than that. But yeah, venture capitalists, they don't touch startups. Very, very rarely they do that unless it's like a unicorn startup. Unless it's your Uber, your Lyft, your Facebook, like those types of companies.
So basically, the people that are listening in, since it's the Broke Entrepreneur podcast and we're all broke, we're probably never gonna need a venture capitalist right now.
Yeah, not right. You may need them at some point, but you definitely won't need them if you're like just starting off a small company, unless again you could be sitting on some patents for technology that is worth their time. It's like, okay, well this patent is something that we need. Like it's some new way to do optics, or it's some new way to build this thing, and then a smart investor will see that and be like, okay, I know why you need this much money right now. But that doesn't happen very often.
Okay. What about taking out a loan? I know we talked a little bit about that in our previous episode. Like, do you need to raise money? Like, do you need other people? Like, can you just raise it yourself? You know what I mean?
For a loan?
Yeah, man. Like, just take out a loan and fund your own business.
There's pros and cons of taking out a loan. If your business is not the type of business that needs to scale or be some multi-million-dollar business, you can just take out a loan, right? Like maybe borrow anywhere between $10,000 to $500,000 from like a bank or a lender, and use that to continue to run your business. Because your business, maybe your business is only making $500,000 a year or less than $1 million a year, and you don't want it that big. You just
Okay.
like, I'm good. I got this nice small business, it's a lifestyle business. I make a lot of money. I have employees. I'm good.
Okay.
So that would be when you would take out a loan.
But you don't need to take out a loan.
You don't need to.
You don't need to do that.
But,
I mean, you can.
I like this types of situations that I would take out a loan is if I owned a restaurant, because restaurants aren't necessarily going to be scalable on like unless you're franchising them, but that doesn't happen very often.
Okay.
Like the businesses like that where it's just like it's a service-based business but on a small scale. Like that's when I would take out a loan.
You can do something like crowdfunding. I have that in my notes here. What is that?
Yeah. So crowdfunding is when you get just random people on the internet and out in the world to just fund your company. Like you have this really dope idea, and you put together a presentation showing that hey, this is a product you might need, and this is how it can work. I've seen several companies get funded with crowdsourcing.
So like a bunch of people just believe in your idea and they put in
Yeah.
some money here and there. So how do everybody get their money back?
Some people are crowdsourcing for equity, and then some people are crowdsourcing for a product. Personally, if you're crowdsourcing for a product, it's a lot easier because they're not getting a piece of your company. You're not splitting your company a million different ways.
Yeah, right.
It's just you're just providing them the product. For example, I've seen a company with like a skateboard adapter. It makes your skateboard feel like you're surfing. They came out of the same incubator I did, so they crowdsourced and they hit their goal, fairly quickly because people in that particular niche want that feeling.
Okay.
And
They want to feel like they're
surfing.
They're surfing on a board.
Yeah.
On wheels.
Yeah. That's they do it. So
Sounds
they were
pretty
able
cool.
to successfully crowdfund because they found their niche. They knew how much money they needed to produce the product, and then they went out there and got more money than they needed.
Okay. I've never raised capital, man. So I don't have any stories about raising capital. I guess I raise my own capital, man. Do a bunch of stuff to fund my own business.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have any stories, man? Any successful stories? Actually, I want to know your failures, your deep, dark failures, and your success, if you had any success raising capital.
So I've had a few failures. Haven't had any major successes. I've had a minor success. I was able to raise money for the development of the company, the app, and then I was able to get people committed to putting up a certain amount of money, but then never actually taking their money, because I just didn't feel right because it wasn't, like I said, it was like $10,000 here, $10,000 here. It adds up, but it wasn't going to actually move the needle with what I'm working on.
So that was like more of the sort of like the crowdfunding.
It's not quite. It's kind of like I was just going. They weren't even technically angels. They're just independent. Well, I guess you would call them an angel. They wanted to be called an angel.
Okay.
Basically, these are high net worth individuals who had a lot of money, and they tend to invest in companies. It wasn't smart money. It was just people like, hey, I got $10,000. This sounds like a dope idea. Like, can I invest this $10,000 into your company? I'm like, yeah, you can, but I really don't want to take your money right now.
So now are they asking for equity?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's how it would be.
Okay.
It's just that
Not for 10,000.
10,000.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with exchanging equity for 10,000. I mean, it would have been a very small percentage of the company, but the issue with that was that I don't like taking people's money unless I know exactly what I'm going to do with it, which is very smart on your end as a business person, because your investor's going to want to know that too. Or you're just going to waste the money that they're giving you.
So that was like your somewhat of your failure.
No, I was still going through that. So in terms of the failures I've had, I've gone into situations where I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was, because I came in overconfident, coming out of business school, you think you know a lot, but really you don't.
Yeah, man, you was doing that before business school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, so anyways, you get there and you get into these situations where you have to present your company in a room full of investors, and they pretty much just punch you in the face and tell you don't know what you're talking about.
Mm.
And it really is like you really don't know what you're talking about.
But you had the numbers, right? Because you're a numbers guy.
I am a numbers guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know numbers. Like, I have all these numbers created, all these situations, and then they look at your numbers and they're like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Mm.
Right? So I went into that situation with a top-down valuation of why I wanted my company, and I had all these big numbers of how much money I think the company can make in this amount of time, and a smart investor is going to look at that and like, that's bullshit. Like, there's no way you're going to make that kind of money, you know, with the amount of money that we're giving you and with the amount of skill that you have. Like, it's just not possible. But you're fresh out of business school, you think you know everything, and then you realize you don't, and then you learn. So I'm not the type of guy to be like, you know what, I know what I'm talking about. I listen. So I'm like, okay, well, what are the reasons why you're saying we don't know this? You know, okay, your valuation doesn't make sense for the amount of money you're making.
I see that on Shark Tank all the time.
Yeah. And they're saying, okay, now that you know that your valuation is off, okay, we think your financial projections are off because you don't have enough information to back it up. And I was like, okay. I did a top-down valuation based on other companies in the space, and I broke them all down into smaller numbers. And they're like, well, considering the fact that you aren't those companies, you need to do a bottom-up valuation. And so what I did was I took that, and I took 3 months, and I completely rebuilt all my financial projections.
Okay.
But this time I built them from the bottom up. So they're much more believable. Like, I can tell you how much it's going to cost me per video view, per click, per download. I can tell you all these numbers. And if you don't know those numbers off the top of your head, then an investor is going to be like, okay, well, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. So that failure of going into this investment
That's
pitch,
a lot.
Yeah. Going into that investment pitch and thinking I knew what I was talking about, but realizing that I really didn't, it was like a humbling experience. You're like, okay, I need to go back to the drawing board. So I went back, took 3 months, rebuilt all of my financial projections, way more accurate this time around. I mean, at the end of the day, there's still thoughts.
Yeah.
But this time they're grounded and they're based in real numbers.
You're not just saying, you know, I sell women hats and there's, you know, 3.5 billion women in the world, and you know,
if I only get 1%,
if I can get 1%, I see that all the time, man.
Yeah. If you've ever said that, trust me, I have to.
And I feel like in Shark Tank, man, they're always like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not how it works. So you learn to build it on like bottom up. You go down to the very smallest form of success, and how much does it cost you to get to that very small form of success, and then you build on it. So again, I started with how much is it going to cost me to get a video view on Facebook, like realistic, and then how much does it cost for someone to click on that video view?
What is your cost per customer?
Cost per click. Yeah, so that builds all builds up. So that builds up into my cost of customer acquisition. And so I was able to build that from all these things, all these minor things that I know I had to do, and I put that into a form, and I built my cost of customer up to $6. So I know it's going to cost me $6 to get one, customer.
Right.
And everybody's numbers are going to be different, right? So that's on a consumer-facing app. So each new user is going to cost me $6. It's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not the end of the world because of economies of scale. Those numbers go down the better you get.
And it depends on what's your markup on your products, right? It costs $6 and your product is $100. Man, you make some money.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't. So that's another thing that we can touch on a little later.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this episode, but
a whole nother episode.
Yeah, like
stay tuned for that episode. So what was your success in raising some money?
We were able to successfully get a company to pay for 50% of our development costs.
Hey.
Okay. So the company believed in our idea. They believed in us as founders to execute on that idea, and they were willing to invest 50% of the development cost.
Wow. For some equity.
Yes.
Mm.
So in exchange for 2.25% equity, which is very low.
2.25%?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for only 2.25% equity, they were able to invest 50% of the development costs.
So that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense for me.
Ah.
It's like I have the skill set and the ability to develop the software myself. I just don't like doing it. I don't like it. It's boring.
You a lazy guy.
There's nothing new with being lazy. Just don't like development.
You said something about smart money, and I seen something somewhere. I have in my notes, man, too. Smart money versus dumb money.
Yeah.
Isn't all money smart money now?
No. All money is definitely not smart money, but all money is money.
They ain't different.
So, smart money versus dumb money. So, smart money is taking money from an investor that knows your space. They know. So, if you're in the fitness tech space, you want an investor who's invested in the fitness tech space.
So they know fitness. They network with people in that space. They know what you're talking about. They might even be really, really passionate about your business.
Yeah.
Because they're passionate about fitness.
So that's passion is one thing.
I'm passionate about fitness.
Yeah. You know. So passion is one thing, but also the reason why it's smart money is because they've actually already had success in that space.
Mm.
So maybe they've had a few successful exits with tech fitness companies they've invested in. That's very critical to how fast you can scale your company.
Okay. So basically, not only will they invest, but they will help you out. Right?
Yes.
Maybe get you connected to people that you couldn't get connected to, get you in rooms that you shouldn't be in. And they're going to help you try to scale this company, right?
Yes.
That is smart.
That's smart money.
I get it.
So,
what is dumb money then?
Dumb money. Dumb money is
like, is that like a lot of money? Like you got
it.
Dumb money.
It is. You got dumb money.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. So dumb money is what happens when an investor or a high net worth individual has a lot of money and they're willing to invest in your company, but they don't know anything about your company, and they have no connections that will help you succeed any faster. So it's just basically someone writing you a blank check.
So it's just like, man, that sounds like a good idea. Here's some money.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah. It's
and why is that dumb?
It's dumb money because it doesn't help you, and it's also dumb money because the investor is probably going to lose their money because they don't know. Like, you might not be the right entrepreneur for them.
Okay.
There's just so many reasons why it's dumb money. Like, you don't blanketly take a big paycheck and just invest in a company that you know nothing about unless the founder of that company has already had success exiting companies.
At any point in time, is it a ever smart idea to get dumb money? Right?
Yeah. I mean,
can you use it to your advantage?
Yes. So there's two ways to use it to your advantage. One, if you're already a seasoned entrepreneur, you already have success, you can take that dumb money and you don't really need their investors' help anyway.
Okay.
And you can make it work.
You just needed the capital.
You just needed the capital.
Okay.
And then the other way is to take that money that's put basically on an offer sheet. You take that offer sheet and you then shop that offer sheet around to other investors that are smart money.
Okay.
Because once an investor has heard another company is willing to put money into this company, it piques their interest a little more. Yeah.
Mm.
So essentially social proof in the investment. So you say, hey, I got a commitment from this investor on an offer sheet for $2 million for X percentage of the company. Like, would you be willing to, beat these terms?
Wow.
And then me personally, if I can use that dumb money to leverage for more smart money, I'd be willing to take less smart money than the dumb money. So the smart money was saying, hey, I'm going to give you $1 million. I can't give you the $2 million they're offering, but I can give you $1 million and I can introduce you to these people because I'm already in your space. I already have success in your space. Then I'm going to take that money any day of the week.
Okay. Are there any hacks, man, when it comes to raising money? Do you know how you can hack it out? You know, we're all about hacking things around here.
I mean, I guess the best ways to hack it if you're trying to raise capital is just to apply for as many different competitions as you can. I mean, there's so many different competitions you can join where all you have is an idea, and if you win that idea, if your idea is relevant enough, the competition will usually award you with equity.
And that's free, or
It's free money.
no? That's free to enter the competition.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most of the time, it's
that's
also
good to know. That's
no strings attached. So if you win the competition, you get the money, and then they don't take any equity in your company.
So you probably have to go up there, you know, say your pitch,
Yeah.
you know your numbers, know what you're talking about, and bam,
Yeah.
you can get funded.
Yeah, you can get it. I mean, it'll be small, but I mean, if you win enough competitions, then you can raise the amount of money you need. I mean, there's competitions for $5,000, competitions for like 30, 40, 50,000, 100,000.
Wow.
I went to a competition where the winner was supposed to get 100,000, but the two companies that were up there were so good that they just decided to split it 50-50. So
Wow, but still.
yeah, you still $50,000, no strings attached.
Wow. Damn, that's what's up, man. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I might need that in the future.
Yeah, and if you're a college student out there, I'm pretty sure your college campus has a pitch competition.
Yeah, you've done that, right?
Yes, I've done that.
Yeah, man. So, how do you know if you need to raise capital? Right?
It's a good question because everybody doesn't need to raise capital.
Right. That's a
We
good
kind of
question.
touched on that a little earlier with like people who own like certain businesses that don't need to necessarily scale. You know when you need to raise capital when the business that you're running is growing too fast for you to handle. So you need to either expand your production, you need to hire more employees, you need to, usually along those paths, like expanding your production, hiring more employees. It's just basically you have a need for this money in order to keep up with how fast your company is growing. Or you have the company that is just ready to explode. Like you have all the numbers showing if I have just a little bit more money, I'll be able to grow this company like way faster.
So that's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Because you can start a company and you don't need to raise any capital.
Yeah.
So some people, because I feel like some people don't start a company because they feel like, oh man, I need like $50,000, I need to raise $50,000, but they don't need to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of internet businesses you can start right now for less than $1,000.
I've started an internet business for less than $1,000, right?
Right.
I've started a few businesses, man.
Right.
It's like,
So my consulting company cost me about $1,000. That's mostly for paying for like software to keep everything managed.
right, man. Yeah, I started a e-commerce business for like less than $1,000, around $1,000. Started my digital marketing agency with $1,000. I had an Amazon business going for a little bit. That was for like $50, right? And now I'm doing eBay, man. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So, yeah, man. So now that the people know, and I know, because I had no idea, man, I'm going to go back and listen to this too. Because I might need to raise some capital. But it sounds like I need to know my business.
You
I
really
need to know. Like, I can't just be like, I got a good idea. Because I feel like most people are like, I got $1 million idea, I got $1 billion idea. You know, this is going to take the world by storm. I just need someone to invest in it, and I'm going to take it all the way. It doesn't work like that. It's not that simple.
Not even close. You hear a lot of entrepreneurs say that I got this cool idea, no one's ever done it before. Someone's done it before. Plain and simple. There's no market for this. Like I'll be the first person to ever do this. Like there's a market. Someone's doing it somewhere. Like you need to know who your competition is. Because I mean, in this world, like there are very few things that haven't been done yet. Can you out execute that person? Yes. But just assume if you come in talking to an investor saying no one's ever done this before, I'll be the first person to do this. Obviously it's not going to be true.
Kind of risky too, man. Right?
Yeah.
An investor be like, well, I kind of really don't want to invest in something that's not been done before because is there a market for it?
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, finding a market is very important.
That's like the first step before even trying to raise capital, man.
Yeah, it is. Definitely a market.
You should have lead with that right there.
Yeah, I should have. It was just never a conversation of finding the market for your product or your idea.
Okay.
We could talk about that at some point.
We will, man, in later episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your final tip, man, when it comes to raising capital for your business or not raising capital?
I don't know if there's a real final tip. I mean, I think that you kind of just have to know your company like backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna raise capital, you need to know that you're essentially have started the process of selling your business.
Right.
Unless it's a loan, I mean, if it's from an angel or a VC, you've essentially started the process of selling your company because you're no longer going to own 100% of your company.
Right. You got to be okay with that.
You have to be okay with that. You have to also be okay with inviting in a boss. Right?
Okay.
So knowing that the person who's going to give you this money, you have to also go along with. That's another reason why I always delay the process of accepting money from like friends or friends of friends, because if they don't understand business, then they're not going to understand what's going on. They're like, oh, why haven't I got my money back?
Oh,
This and that. Like, they need to understand.
Like your friend with the $10,000.
A couple of them, yeah. So, like, hey, bro, like, I want to invest this money into your company. Like, he's going to come back, like, 6 months later, like, yo, where's my $10,000? Like, how much interest I get on my money? And it's like, you don't even understand the basics of what you're doing. So, I'm not going to even take the money.
So before, like you mentioned in the beginning, raising money from family and friends, like you really have to do your homework. Like you really have to know your business to ask people, because that's their responsible too, right?
Yeah.
You're dealing with people's money here, and that makes people angry.
Yeah, so it's like you make sure that it's coming from a friend or a family member who, if they lost all this money, would not make a difference.
Yeah.
Right. So I know if like that friend would have lost $10,000 and investing in my company will make a big difference. So that's why the same thing in the way an investor's going to look at it. Like if I invest $1 million into this company, I'm expecting it to succeed, but realistically, like most companies fail, so I may lose all this money.
That's true.
If my life is not dependent on investing this $1 million.
Right.
But hey, you break even, or you 3 to 5 exit, and you're happy. You hit on a unicorn, and you're all of a sudden a billionaire now from a very small investment. You're happy with that.
Man, I want to be an investor one day, man. How do I get on that level?
How do you get on that level?
Yeah, how do I do that?
That's a lot of money. First.
I want to be a venture. I want to be a venture.
I can't tell you how to be a venture capitalist because I'm broke and I don't got venture capitalist money.
Yeah, man. I'm a broke entrepreneur too.
Yeah, you gotta get
Hence
some
the
money.
podcast.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, man. All right, man. That's what's up, man. I feel like we gave a lot of value today. I learned a lot.
Okay.
I hope you guys did too. If you learned something here today, man, what is it? Leave a comment, subscribe, hit us up on social, ask somebody, ask a random lady walking down the street.
I got some more tips for the people before we go.
Oh, I was jumping the gun.
Yeah, got some more tips.
But do all those things though.
Yeah. So if if you're out there, you're a younger entrepreneur, you're a college student. Again, there's thousands of free pitch competitions.
The competition thing. Okay.
There's tons of local incubators that you can apply to. So you want to apply to these incubators. You want to apply to these pitch competitions, because what it does is it allows you to take your idea and put it in front of, smart people, investors, and whoever's associated with the incubator to help you build out your idea and make sure your idea is something that's, backable by, capital. And then once you gotten those experiences under your belt, then it makes it a lot easier for you to go out there and raise capital and to talk to people and understand what they're actually looking for, because you took all the bumps and bruises while you're a part of an incubator.
Right. And that incubators, and what is that? I've been to one before, and they were giving a lot of value.
Yeah. So.
But I don't know why they called it that.
So an incubator is essentially a place for ideas to become businesses. So you come in with an idea that you think you can make a lot of money, or some people already have a business. They just don't know how big that business is going to get. They might be making $5,000 a month in this business, $10,000 a month, and they think they can grow it. So they join an incubator. There's plenty of people inside the incubator that can help you, find your true market. Narrow down what it is that you're actually selling, and then you package all that up, and you learn all of your numbers and all your projections and all this.
So they're gonna help you do that.
They're gonna help you do all that.
Do you have to pay for that?
No.
No.
Some incubators like the bigger incubators, they may take equity, because again, it's like it's smart money versus dumb money. If you join, you join like this national incubator that's producing like big name companies, they're gonna take some equity from you. So they're gonna put you in front of people that are gonna put money into your company. You have a higher chance of success.
They're almost like an investor in a sense.
Yeah. And
They're
then
gonna help you network with people that you don't know.
Yeah. And then once you go through an incubator, you have the ability to go into an accelerator. An accelerator is, okay, now you got this idea, you got this company, you're a sharp person, you're a sharp investor, you're making money, but now I want to see how big and how fast I can grow this company. So then that's when you start looking for, bigger rounds of capital.
Okay. So this accelerator is in this incubator thing.
Some accelerators have incubators, some accelerators are separate from incubators. Like some accelerators are a little harder to get into than incubators.
Do you have to pay for that, or you just have to really have a good idea?
You're not paying for any of this stuff.
Hey.
So that you're paying in terms of usually your equity. If it's a really, really good accelerator, again, they're going to take a little bit of equity, because they're going to be putting you, they're going to either invest a small amount of money into you, and then they're also going to put you in front of smart investors.
I heard this before.
Yes.
That makes sense now. And thank you for breaking that down. Okay. You got any more tips?
No, I think that was like the last big one for helping people who are, just have an idea.
Yeah.
And
did you do that?
I did.
You went into an incubator and you went into an accelerator?
I went through an incubator, and then now I went through 2 incubators.
Am I saying this right? Incubator?
Incubator.
Yep.
So I went through 2 incubators, one at UC Irvine, one at USC, and then right now we are in a pre-accelerator.
A pre-accelerator?
Yeah. So we tried to get into an accelerator. They didn't let us in. They didn't accept us. So we're now in a pre-accelerator, which is a feeder to a lot of the big name accelerators.
Okay. So
it means that you're a little bit past an incubator stage, because we already know our numbers, we know our market, we know how to do all this stuff. We don't need to learn the basics. We already got that down. We've actually made a little bit of money, but we haven't made enough money where people are sure that's a viable business. So we enrolled into a pre-accelerator that'll help us go, get to that next level. And then most companies that come out of this pre-accelerator go into the big accelerators.
So if you can prove you can make some money, then they can bump you up to this accelerator.
Well, not prove that you make more money consistently. So we made a little bit of money, but it's not on a consistent basis. It's not continuing to come. It's not like you made $10,000 this month, and next month you made nothing.
Okay.
It's like, okay, you made $10,000 this month, you made $12,000 the next month, $14,000 the next month, $15,000 or $16,000 the next month. So you kind of see that slow growth, and then that's when you're ready for an accelerator.
So where are you guys at with that process?
So I actually have a meeting with our advisor from the pre-accelerator Thursday of next week.
Okay. And that's to determine if you guys should move on, or just the status of like what's going on right now?
We just started. So we started in this is December. So we started at the end of October. That's when we got accepted.
Typically, how long do you sit in these things, these incubators and accelerators?
That all varies. It all depends on the incubator or accelerator you're in. So the first incubator we were a part of was as long as you need to be there, you can be there.
Okay.
Then there's other incubators that's a set time frame. It's like you're going to be in this incubator for 3 months or 90 days or 45 days or something like that. Then you have an accelerator that's like, okay, you're going to be in this accelerator for 90 days or 180 days. It's like I don't know the times for different places. I just know for where I was at.
So does it make sense, like, let's say, you want to raise capital. Does it make sense to start off there, right? Start off at the incubator, kind of go into the accelerator, and then once you have, like, really good idea of, like, your business, how it's run, all the numbers, the structure, then, try to raise capital if you need to do that.
If you need to. So you should always be looking to raise capital as an entrepreneur, because if you say you need capital to do something, you should start a year before you actually need that money as an entrepreneur. Because it's really hard to get money. It's really, really hard to get people to give you money.
Yeah, it is.
Like all the tips in the world help increase your chances, but you're still looking at like 99% of companies don't get funded.
Dang.
So
why is that?
That's because investors don't like investing money into things that aren't making money already.
Right.
Most investors won't invest in an idea. So that's why if the smarter route that I would go through would be going through an incubator and refining my idea, testing out my business.
Wow, that makes sense.
Making money doing this, showing that I can make money, and then making enough money where you're making, let's say, between $10,000 a month, $50,000 to $100,000 a month, and then taking that to maybe a bigger accelerator and saying, hey, I'm already making, almost $1 million a year in my small company. With the right investment, I can take this $1 million a year company and blow it up to a $20 million a year, $30 million a year company.
So now you have leverage. You're not just like asking for money.
Yeah, you're showing. You're like, these are my numbers. This is my trajectory. This is, I started off with this company making this amount of money, and now I'm making this amount of money.
So you can do it both ways, though, right? You can have an idea and get people to invest in that idea and take off. But it's going to be really hard to get people to invest because you're not making any money. Yeah. But you can still pull it off, right?
Yeah. You just got to know when to do it.
And then you have the other option, which is actually do it, right? Yeah. Make some money and then bring it to these investors and say, hey, listen, man, this is working. Yeah. I'm scaling and I need your help.
Yeah.
Right?
I've seen a woman was in the same incubator I was in, talk to the same investors 9 times before she got funding because they just didn't believe in it. They didn't believe in her idea. They didn't believe in her product.
9 times.
When I saw her pitch, I didn't believe in her product. I'm like, how the hell is this going to work? But you know what trumps all that? Making money. So when she came back to pitch that day where I was there, she had grown her company from nothing to $30,000 a month on her own. Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, from nothing to $30,000 a month. So now the angel investor okay, there must be a market here that I just don't understand.
Yeah.
And then so the investor starts to do his research on the market. You can see your numbers. You can clearly see your trajectories growing month over month. It's like, okay, now I'm willing to cut you a check.
Wow. So you just got to get some traction.
Traction is king.
Right. And that's why it's important to go out there and try to get some investors at all times. Because you never know when you might come back around and say, hey, listen. Or maybe they might catch you. Yeah. And you're like, oh, how's your business? You're like, oh, I'm making like $100,000 a month now. They're like, hey, I know we talked before, but let's talk now.
Yeah.
Right? Is that kind of like, I feel like it's somewhere where you're at, you kind of just like need to show people you're profitable?
Yeah, that's exactly where we're at right now.
Or really profitable?
We've shown that we can make money. We've shown that we can get big name sponsors. We partner with large companies. We've shown pretty much everything you need to show in order to get seed round level of funding. Mm-hmm. Our issue is that we're in a space what's the word for it? I can't really think of the word for it. Basically, it's saturated. Sorry, that's the word. So we're in a space that's very saturated. So there's a bunch of people in this space. So when there's a lot of people in the space, even if your idea is different or your product is different, it needs to make more money in order to get an investor to act on that company.
Okay.
So if we make $10,000 a month or we have 10,000 paying users, it doesn't really matter in this space. Like in a different space, that could be like, oh man, like this is ready to go, because there's not a lot of people in that space, but there's a lot of people in my space.
So you got it rough, man.
So yeah, so in order for us to draw some sort of attention, we'd have to be making like $100,000 a month, $50,000, $100,000 a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. I mean, so it's why you take the steps.
Think you gonna pull it off or what?
I don't know. I can't guarantee anything, right?
As an entrepreneur, you know nothing.
No, maybe. Because even companies that get funded, go out of business. One of the competitors in my space, it's called Chorus. They just closed their doors. They started off with like either somewhere between millions, basically multiple millions of dollars worth of funding, and they still closed their doors. We didn't even have that. We had our own, funding that we put in, and they had millions and they couldn't make it work.
Dang.
It just all comes down to like sometimes like even with the right amount of funding, the idea is a good idea because people are using it and people want it, but not enough people are there for making it a scalable business. Like you're not here to run, like no investor wants to run $500,000 a year business.
Okay.
Or $1 million a year business. They're looking for, $100 million. Like I put venture capital out. This business needs to be sold for $100 million, and you can't sell a company that's making $3, $4, $5 million a year for $100 million.
So don't take it to heart, man. It's an idea that can work. It's just not that scalable.
Yeah. So you just got to know what level you're at, right?
Right.
Another company that was in the incubator I was in.
That's important.
The guy built a lifestyle business. His business brings in $2 million a year, and he profits $750,000 out of the $2 million that brings in.
That's damn good.
It is really good, right? And he took in outside capital, and it's a good thing on the investor. Sorry, this is one of those situations where it's a good thing on the entrepreneur side and a bad thing on the investor side. So the entrepreneur just created himself a lifestyle business.
Right.
He doesn't really have to touch this company, and this company is going to bring him in $750,000 a year in profit. But the angel investors that originally invested into his company can really never really get their money back because he still owns the lion's share. So if you're an investor out there, if you're an entrepreneur like we are, you want to make sure you have the control of your company, right? I mean, like most angel investors, they want to cash out, which nothing wrong with that, right? You're investing your money for that purpose.
Right.
But if you build a business and you get a business to us, that's what I told you. If you're accepting capital, you're preparing to sell your business.
Right. You are.
But if you get the business to a certain level and you're comfortable with that level, and the investors want to cash out, and they can't cash out if you still have control of your company.
I see what you're saying.
See, so if you're catching that, it's like I always want to be in control of my company. So I'm not gonna come in to an investor, especially if they're not smart money, and they're gonna like, oh, we want 50% or 55, 60% of the company for the amount of money they're bringing in. It's like, well, that immediately takes away, my control of the company. So they could fire me, or they could sell my company, and there's nothing I could do about it because I don't have enough ownership in the company anymore to stop it.
So as an investor, you're kind of looking at it like, you have to look at it like, okay, I'm going to make my money back, but at this rate, it's going to take me like 30 years.
So yeah, right? for that particular situation that I was just talking about, yeah. So, I mean, the guy, as an entrepreneur, you tip your hat to him. Like, he outsmarted the investor.
He was winning on that.
Yeah, he's winning. I mean, $750,000 a year in profit. And
wow.
He has no intent on selling the company.
So they're looking.
So they're getting like little bits of money here and there over time, but it's like they want to cash out.
Yeah.
They want to sell the company.
Man, so is that the goal, to sell the company?
Once you accept money, yeah, that's pretty much what you're planning on doing. You're either going to sell the company or go public. Going public doesn't happen very often, but then again, you have your Facebooks and you have your companies that go public.
Like you said, when you're looking for investors, you should have that in mind.
And yeah, you're going to sell your company.
Oh man,
There's nothing wrong with it, right?
You don't have to.
If I got my company big enough to the point where someone offered me a huge payout, like, I'm taking it.
You're taking it.
Right? It's just you got to know your number. And so whatever your number is that you're comfortable with selling your company for, you should sell it. Like, because I know what I want to do with the money is more important than the company. That makes sense. So I make my money doing this company, sell it, at some point 5-10 years down the road, get a big cash, payout from that, then take that money and invest it in other companies. Because if your money is all tied up in your equity, then you don't really have the money to invest in other things.
That's true. So that's actually a smart idea. I mean, if you want to sell it, some people are like, this is my baby, never going to let it go. I don't care who invests, but I do need to raise capital. Right?
Yeah. It'll be hard. I mean, you might have to lie to get money at that point because investors, they want you to sell the company. It's not right. But they want you to sell a company because that's how they make their multiples. Or you're going to have to find another investor to come in and buy them out. Which is not a smart situation. It's a difficult situation to deal with. But yeah, like, just gotta know what it is you want to do with your company, and the right person to give you the money for that.
You gotta find the right person, because there's smart money and there's dumb money.
Yeah, there's also like just people who just don't have the right personality fits.
Yeah. Like
if I just can't stand the guy, our morals are off, and they want to invest in my company, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a headache.
Yeah, you gotta like the person. I like to do business with people that I actually like. Right? Yeah. Turn down different clients because I didn't really care for the type of person I was. Right? And I feel like it's a headache too, man.
Huge headache.
If you make it all about money, man, I mean, I feel like, yeah, it's not a good way to go. I mean, we're here to make money and all. We're all broke entrepreneur podcast here, right? But yeah, man. Okay. So I guess that wraps everything up, man.
Yeah, we're all tipped out for today.
Yeah, man, tip it out.
So what do you want to talk about next time?
Man, next time
it's your category this time.
Hey, you gonna shoot over to me? Or we're gonna do like a back and forth thing?
We might.
Let's not do that because what if I don't have anything? You might need to do it twice, 3 times.
Hey, I got you.
Okay, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I want to talk about next week, man. Not next week. Whenever we drop the next episode, I don't want to put that on us. That's a lot of pressure.
It's coming weekly.
I want to talk about how to make money off the internet to fund your business, right? But wait, hold on, and not get caught up being an entrepreneur.
Yes, entrepreneurs. Most people are entrepreneurs. Shit, I was an entrepreneur for most of the last 9 years.
Yeah, man.
If you don't know what an entrepreneur is, that means you want to be an entrepreneur. So you try all these different businesses, and you don't really put enough effort into one business because you're trying to make all these businesses work because that's all you really want to be as an entrepreneur, but you don't really have a passion for it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've tried a bunch of different businesses, and I can't wait to share that in the next episode. I've done things from selling online to Uber driving to almost selling my body.
Yeah, selling your body.
I almost got to that point.
I was out in the corner selling my CDs.
You were selling your CDs?
Selling my CDs.
I don't believe it.
Hey, rap album coming soon.
Oh, man, I'm not listening to that shit. Yeah, man. All right, well, that's all the time we have.
Album's gonna be fly, though.
Yeah, man. Let me just get on with this. It's all the time that we have.
A little bit more time for the album dropping, though.
Listen, man, don't forget to ignore what he's saying. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Not about his album. I hope it never comes out like the Detox.
It's coming.
Yeah, man. If you guys like this episode, hit us up on social. Yeah, man. If you want to hear
My album.
nope. If you want to, if you want just to talk about something else, maybe you have something in mind, man. You know, drop a comment. Let us know what's up. And then if you guys enjoy these episodes, man, give it a thumbs up somewhere, right?
Yeah. Share it with your friends, your family,
Subscribe or something.
your enemies. You know,
Yeah, man. We can all be friends.
Yeah.
I feel like we can all win.
we could all win.
Yeah, man.
There's enough pie out there for everybody.
Yeah, man.
I do love pie.
Pecan pie.
It's delicious.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you guys. Love you guys. And peace.
Take care. Album dropping soon.
On ya.